why is the Chinese rejecting them then? I can't understand if they say they represent the Chinese. So you can see from there that actually political parties are those people who needs to come together, where they need to lean on each other in order to have strength. I beg to differ. That's the reason why I feel that I'm strong enough to be a leader. I'm standing on my own feet. Not because I'm that great, but because why? I want to show to the Malaysians that if we have ideas, if we have the passion to lead them, we can actually stand alone and introduce it, and not just having to associate and lean in order to get power. Because that leaning causes factionalism, and which faction that is the strongest will rule. And when they rule, they will kill off the other faction. And that's what's happening between Chua Soi Lek and Ong Ti Kiat. You can see that it's happening. And it's so, they disunite the Chinese for that matter. All right? But to me, whether you unite the Chinese, you disunite the Malays, you disunite the Chinese, you disunite the Indians for that matter, is not important to me. The important thing to me is I want to see that all the races will come together and say, look, we will bring in the leader who can only lead us. Who can be the leader, for example, who are passionate enough to show us that we can all share all the abundance and resources that we have. We are rich. Why I said we are rich, you can see that if you look at what Petronas has, okay, that we are talking about, with that sort of wealth and reserve that they have in terms of money, if you divide by the population of Malaysia, everyone is a millionaire. Or I could say multi-millionaires. So, why then have we got to? Why then are we having this contention that we want to have special rights? I always tell my Malay friends, all you need is to actually pick up the skill and learn how to fish, and not expect the fish to be put on your table for you to consume. If you pick that up, you will stand tall and you'll be respected by anyone, that you are equally as capable as anyone. Because why? In my book, I've also mentioned, I've also said my candidacy, my views, my comments, and my recommendation. In my recommendation, I have, without looking at any particular, I have recommended people who have written very well. I will single out people like M. Bakri Musa. I think so. He wrote very well. He's a Malay, but he's not based here. He's based in California. You see? So you can see from there, and what I'm saying here is that very clearly, anyone, if they are given the proper education, proper training, and proper product, with all what I've mentioned in my opening, how I obtain it from all the various sources, you would be a very good leader.
So, in the sense of that, what other improvements do you see?
Oh yeah,
our current,
Well, coming back, so the election, the way we do the process have to be reformed. So much so that it will become attractive to attract all Malaysians to take part. To me, you see, I was told that before the election, pre-election, the Barisan Nasional have already spent $73 million on advertisements. And I was told just in my round when I was walking around with my constituent friends, who questioned me, they say they were aware that when during the election period, Barisan Nasional were paying all the advertising agencies to go and buy the space by doubling the amount that is paid by the other component parties, so that they will push out the other advertisement, they shut off the advertisement, and they get the advertisement. Means they pay you to compensate the other parties so that they will have the space, so that they block out the entire ad. You see, what I'm trying to say here is that, do we need to depend on using, that means this is going to be a contest between the advertising agencies and the public relations people, how good you are at promoting the parties. So whichever agency that promotes well and wins. So it is not the leader. It is the advertising agency.
Who has the means and needs
Yeah.
to...
So are we saying that the Malaysian public? That's what I told the Malay friends of mine. I say that, look, do you want to be blind by that? That you want money politics to perpetuate, to continue, and you just said yourself to yourself, you're going to be a die-hard Barisan Nasional follower, supporter, right? Or you are a die-hard Pakatan supporter, so much so that I face the constituents and they tell me, no, you are here to split votes. I beg to differ. That's not what my intention. My intention is to put the message across very clearly that I'm equally capable to lead the country. I may not have a party now, but if I get the first support and confidence from the Kelana Jaya constituent voters, and if I get elected and I'm in Parliament, I will take this opportunity to form the first political party where I want it to be multiracial. And my purpose of the political party that I'm going to form is that I'm going to push the idea through my members that we will win the next election come 5 years later. And with the majority, unanimous if I can for that matter. You know why? Because I am going to introduce people who are equally as passionate as I am, who actually support on the basis that they only want to bring about one Malaysia. And these people cannot be disliked, or for that matter, or disfavored by the rakyat. If I can get this group of people joining me together, and after we win and we form the next government, I promise as a party in our constitution, we will dissolve. We will dissolve the party, and we want Parliament to have a system whereby it is set up and whereby the wishes of the rakyat will be fulfilled. And that is, we will have it open, an open system of election. Meaning to say that you look at what we are having. We look for a Malaysian Idol. We look for a Malaysian Got Talent. Why can't we look for a lawmaker with talent? Why can't we stage a contest?
Parliament's Got Talent.
Yeah, parliamentarians got talent. Why can't we seek out the best 222 lawmakers in Parliament? So if we organize an election in that form, then I believe a lot of those people whom they consider themselves as retired, who are very experienced, they will tell themselves, hey, I can contribute, I have a lot of knowledge, I have a lot of experience, I can go forward and become one of those talents. Why don't I come forward and put myself as one of the contestants? Then it's the role it's the role of the election commission then to organize all these people together, and through the media, through the radio, through whatever means, they are supposed to be introduced to the rakyat. And then it's for the rakyat, after full exposure is given to the rakyat, that these are your contestants for this coming election. All right? See their capabilities, go through their abilities. They are allowed to debate. They are allowed to give raise whatever areas of strength that they have, to see whether you Malaysians will accept that they are good about it. And then after that, we will stage the election. An election don't have to be conducted in this primitive method, I will call, about all this need of all this. With all the invent of internet right now, why can't we do it on the basis that like the credit card system? You give a password to them, all right, and this password cannot be duplicated, and through the password they will put in their votes, and it can be tabulated so fast, and it is nationwide, meaning to say that the whole nation will vote for you, all right, and the best 222 candidates who get the maximum votes will enter Parliament. Then you can see from what I'm saying here, the majority race would feel safe. This is what I wish to tell all my Malay friends. If I want to be a national leader, to be recognized, to be able to lead in Malaysia, I must first of all get the support of the majority race. And the majority race here I'm talking about is the Malay. If I cannot get their respect, I cannot claim to be a national leader.
Okay, so we have about 10 more minutes of our time. But so to sum it up, you only have 6 more days?
Yes.
Yeah, to campaign.
Yeah.
What is going to happen in this
6
remaining
days.
6 days?
Well, I have been always opening up to the Kelana Jaya residents. I've actually asked the NGOs. I've actually asked high learning institutions, like what we watched the Obama and the presidential election. You see how they are so willing to come forward in the interest of wanting the future youth of tomorrow to understand the election process and what the leaders are capable of. They stage election debates for them. I have actually, on my own, openly invited both the candidates to come together with me to have a friendly debate. My purpose is to tell the constituents that that is the best way for you to choose who is the best to lead the
People to hear.
Well, yeah, right. You see, the reason here is that because if that can be done, tomorrow I'm very confident of winning the election. So because you see, I'm a one person, I keep telling all the constituents that I meet that they were telling me why you want to send us in. But I said, you see, for me to come up with my own savings and to stage my own campaign single-handedly, it's not because I'm crazy, but it's because of my passion. But I said the other two worthy opponents of mine, they are being financed and they actually being supported and nominated with your money. And you see, given that situation, do you think that after if they were to win the election, and because at the way they are throwing with the type of expenditures I'm talking about, do you think the victors are not going to be the sponsors of the victors are not going to gain anything back in return? So if the sponsors are going to get back what these winners are going to achieve, I'm sure corruptions will be even greater. So the ills are going to be even worse off. So when recently Najib was saying that if he loses the election, the stock market is going to collapse, I felt that it was a very irresponsible statement of our leader. The simple reason here is that because how could a leader who is actually helping to unite us as under one Malaysia is saying that when the market is supposed to be a free market where people, investors, both local and overseas, have confidence in our market and they have invested. And you saying that by just you losing the election, the market collapsed. Why? Are you saying that it is syndicated? Are you saying that it is being held by certain people who can actually bring down the market? If that is possible, I'm saying that we must rid all these unnecessary elements, because then our market is not a free market.
It will be a corrupt.
Yeah, it's already a control market again. It's already being held by a certain number of people. That's why recently, I think I've not been having time to be able to read the latest news, but I was told that there's a lot of funds been flowing out of the country. I mean, for whatever reason, is because those vested people who may have feared that Barisan Nasional may lose in the coming election, they are pulling out. But to me, if it is money that is well earned and they're taking it out, I respect the decision. But if it is ill-gotten money, then I think it's high time the Malaysians, with the help of the international community, should try to protect and repatriate this money back. In fact, I would like to tell our leaders, look, like what I said in my book here, that if Barisan Nasional have actually repented by actually apologizing to the public 5 years ago that they have made tremendous errors in dividing to rule the people, and they have actually reformed, like what Najib is doing, the One Malaysia concept. And if he has actually openly, together with the rest of the component parties, broken down all barriers and actually taken the step